Moving all the way from my home state of Ohio to the island Inaka in Japan has been a year in the making. Flying to Japan alone with a dog is definitely no easy feat, but my gut knew I was making the right decision. I've gotten a lot better at trusting my gut lately. It's impossible to imagine what your life will be like when you make a big change like this, but I think that's a good thing. I don't think we're supposed to know every single twist and turn in the road ahead. When you can't see exactly where you're going, there is no choice but to embrace what is, and I think that's a beautiful place to be. I couldn't possibly have guessed all the new plants and animals I'd see, or the people I'd meet. I get to wake up every day and explore a new world. This change has sparked even more of a passion for creating art than ever before. I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but I want you to know that you can completely change your direction in life if you want, even if there are inconveniences that complicate the process. There were so many wrenches thrown at us while trying to get our dog here, but we made it happen out of sheer determination. So I just want others to see that if you want change, you absolutely can make it. Lately, I've been painting a lot of new things that bring me a lot of joy. That brings me to what I wanted to talk about today. I'm finally creating something that I've wanted to make for a really long time, and that is an oracle deck. You might know what that is, or you might be like, what is an oracle deck? So there are tarot decks, which follow a pretty strict system of organization where there's major arcana and minor arcana, and tarot readers and people who do tarot just in their daily lives use them for many different reasons. Tarot follows a more strict set of rules, and so years ago I had started illustrating my own tarot deck, and I kind of just realized it was a little bit constricting for me. People use it for personal growth and personal inner workings, like journaling and trying to learn more about themselves, how they can better themselves. It can also be used for kind of getting a reading on a situation. So you might ask about a certain situation in your life and it will give you advice for that situation. And there's varying levels of what people believe as far as, is it predicting the future? Is it just an energy? That's all open to interpretation, which is the cool thing about tarot and oracle. It's a form of divination that gives people a little bit of a mirror to look at themselves and to say, what is it inside of me that I need to know more about in order to grow. And also it helps people to just really ride the waves of life, if that makes sense. Everybody has pretty busy, hectic lives, and especially now, and these types of things can be really helpful for grounding and making sense of the things that happen in our lives, and just really kind of giving an anchor for where we are on our journey. Anyways, I explained a little bit about tarot, and oracle is different. It's different, but it's similar in some ways as far as the looking at yourself and going within and kind of getting a little advice maybe on a situation or whatever you want to think about more deeply. Oracle can also help you with that, but oracle is so much more free as far as the structure. There's not different categories of cards that you have to make for an oracle deck. It is very much up to the artist's interpretation and the author or whoever basically created the deck. It's all up to them. Back when I was making this tarot deck, I kind of fell off of it because I felt really constricted, and it felt like this big thing where it didn't feel as much like me. Like I was putting my spirit into it, like I was putting my soul into it. It felt like I was trying to illustrate these very specific cards but in my style, and that's not really what I wanted to do. I wanted to create something completely separate from that and all on my own, and for me and my artistic journey, and for other people as well who use these types of things. I got my pumpkin spice coffee here, which I brought some to Japan with me. Cheers! I had fallen off of creating this tarot deck. Even though I had fun with creating some of these illustrations, it just wasn't me. So I went back to doing my normal thing, my art that made sense for me at the time. And a lot of time passed. I would say like maybe a year or two had passed, and then a lot of big changes happened in my life. I quit my job that I was working a corporate 9-to-5 graphic design job, and it really started to not feel like me. I started to not feel like myself. I felt just constantly on edge and terrible. It was one of the lowest I've had felt in a really long time. My husband had big ambitions as well, and he moved to Japan to teach English here on this island. And so for a year we were separated, and I worked on my art, I worked on myself, and I did a lot of kind of inner work. I learned a lot about myself, I think. I was continuing to work on my art and try to find my style and improve on my skills and just enjoy my life. And it was a year of growth for sure. This is when I started my new brand, if you want to call it that, Personal Alchemy. A lot of the artwork that I was creating and am continuing to create, I just wanted to have that feeling of there's a deeper meaning here that people can really dive in and get something out of it. The biggest thing that I wanted to accomplish with Personal Alchemy and the artwork that I'm putting out is that we can take the pain and the difficult situations that we go through in life, and we can alchemize them or turn them into something completely different. And there is beauty and meaning behind a lot of the pain that we experience in life. It's something that I am still realizing every day, but especially over the last year, through journaling and through self-work and stuff like that, it's just a big part of what I want to put out there to also kind of give hope to people, because I truly believe that all of the pain that we experience can be used to create something beautiful, and it can really be used to change our lives for the better. Not that I'm not saying pain is always a good thing and it's great and whatever. I'm just saying that we have no choice but to experience painful things. Why not use that and see what we can do with that, see what it means. This type of work never ends. It just evolves as we grow, I think. And sometimes I'm sure we have to relearn or remember things we forgot. And I think that the journey of learning new things about ourselves and improving and being able to navigate life a lot lighter and easier, that just never ends. We are always going to be going through something that it's there to teach us something. I want to talk about what my deck will be like. There's a few things that I really want to accomplish with my deck, and the first one is I want it to be something that helps people to ground themselves and to promote positive self-talk. I want people to be able to create their own rituals. These are some of the things that I have struggled with before in my life, is kind of grounding, centering, coming and showing up in the world in the way that I want to. And I just want it to be a deck of self-love, self-acceptance, to really build yourself up, but in a way that is specific and personal to you. In the cards, I have rituals written down for almost every card. Something I've realized over the past year is how powerful rituals can be. I have just developed a lot of rituals over the past year for myself that are super simple, and some things that I can do every day to help ground myself. Those little things over time, I believe, really they compact and they really add up to help us in the long term. And little acts every day that we can do, I believe, can change so much. It will also have some advice on different things, but really I think that the big goal of it isn't to like tell the future or try to be like, this is what's gonna happen, you need to look out for this and worry about that. That's not what I want my deck to be. I just want it to be about no matter what happens in your life, you can come back to this deck, pull a card, and know that you can trust yourself and your inner guidance, and that you have everything you need already within you, and that you can empower yourself to take charge of your own mental health. You can feel empowered, and that's what I want other people to feel. And I'm still working on it every day, and nothing is ever perfect. I think that that is the beauty of this type of work. You know, a lot of times it's not linear, and that's okay. And like, it's an opportunity for us to be like, all right, maybe things are feeling a little bit down right now, but we can always come back to ourselves. So that's my goal for this deck. I hope that I explained it in a way that makes sense and that is exciting to you, or something that maybe somebody you know could be interested in this. But also a huge part of this is the art. I'm a watercolor artist, so everything is going to be in watercolor, and it's going to have a very specific style, which I won't dive crazy into, but I'll show you a little mock-up that I did for the first card that I'm creating. I want it to have a really handmade feel to it. With personal alchemy, I want it to feel like you're taking things into your own hands, and that just gave me the idea that I want it to be really like handmade and personal. It just like, it makes sense for my brand and everything. And like, I remade my logo and I made it as a watercolor because everything's going to be in this medium, and I just love it. It was a lot of fun to create. Then I made a little stop motion with it. But so I'll just say a lot of my artwork I will be cutting out, and I will be arranging them both physically and also in Photoshop. So it's going to be really fun, and I'm excited to just kind of take it at my own pace and do it justice. I'll show you my mock-up really quick. Okay, so you can't really see it very well, but so yeah, this is just a super basic, like, this is not exactly what it's gonna look like, but I know for sure I want the hand and the mushrooms and some flowers and definitely some other elements that you're not seeing here. That's just a little bit of a look into what's to come with my artwork and everything that I'm working on. Feel free to subscribe. I'm gonna put out more videos on the process of creating this deck. Let me know your thoughts on all that. I've been enjoying Japan immensely. It has been so great. That's all I have to say. So until next time, I hope that you're doing great and take care of yourself. See you later.